Well, thank you for joining today. My name is Christy Strauss, and I'm the Broker Sales Director here at IAD. And I'll be presenting another way to grow your earnings in 2022. And so before I get started, want to mention that you all are muted, and we will give you an opportunity to ask some questions. Just type them in the chat feature, and I'll get to those at the end of the close of this webinar. So feel free to chat as we move along. If I see that the questions pop up and I've got a break in what I'm explaining, I'll go ahead and answer that question then. Otherwise, I'll just wait till it's over and we'll get started. So I am going to shut the video off and get going. So most of you that are joining today are probably looking for a way to grow your book, maybe grow it quicker, and maybe this might be a great opportunity. So let's talk about some of the facts that you may or may not know. And so let's start with that Medicare population and growth. And as you look at the current state of the population with regard to senior health products, you can see right here, 45 million people are currently on Medicare. This represents about 18% of our population. And that growth rate is about 14,000 people turning 65 a day. It's looking or projected to be by 2030, that number will be about 79 million. So it's a good time to be marketing in the Medicare space, given all these opportunities, for the future. So what do these numbers look like? If you take a closer look, a closer snapshot of this pie and how it divides up, roughly about 33% are Medicare supplement plans, 42% are Medicare Advantage, and 25% represents the other. That other are folks who just get Medicare A and B and don't actually shop around for anything else. That 33% obviously is MedSup, but the 42% includes individual Med Advantage, group, employer group and union plans, and special needs plans. The CBO, which is the Congressional Budget Office, estimates that this number, this 42%, will reach 51% by the year 2030. So that's a big number. So let's talk about group retiree medical plans. So most of you know that they're out there. A lot of employers don't necessarily offer them, but if they do, these are the options. There's an MAPD on a group chassis, and there's a group Medicare supplement on a group chassis. Sometimes employers might just offer up individual MedSup or individual MAPD. And how do these differ? Well, the group chassis products, they're going to have some tax benefits. And typically, if they have a formulary with an RX plan that they can have, they call them egg whips, e.g. WP. So if they have the formularies on the group plans, they tend to be pretty rich. With the individual plans, there's not really a tax benefit for that employer if they're contributing, but unless they're just doing it for themselves, they might have that tax benefit. So those are a couple of the differences. So let's talk about that marketing. Why would somebody want to market into that group space, and what would that look like? Well, the product I'm actually talking about today is called Senior's Choice. And Senior's Choice is a group retiree medical plan, and it looks and acts just like a Medicare supplement. Who's eligible for it? You have to have Medicare Part A and B. It goes down to a group size of 1 life. So there's really no minimum participation requirements. That makes it a nice, easy, manageable group to get started with. You must be 65 or older. There is a little caveat. They will offer it for under 65 and disabled, but for much larger groups. You must be active or retired. That's subject to TEFRA and non-TEFRA guidelines. And I'll go through what that means if you're not familiar with it in the next couple slides. So let's look at these marketing opportunities. Who are these eligible groups? Who would you market this product to? Corporations, nonprofits, religious groups, municipalities, unions, government entities. These are great groups that promise maybe some healthcare benefits to their employers when they retire. They're probably going through some pain points right now, and mostly because they've made that promise and now they've got these very expensive plans. This is a good time to go revisit those groups and show them an alternative and a solution, a more affordable solution to that group plan for their retirees. Also, anybody who holds an occupational license, doctors, dentists, lawyers, insurance agents, real estate agents. This is a great group for hospitals and even Native American tribes. So Seniors Choice already has all of these. And basically, it's just about a trust agreement, getting that started. And that's how this all works. I will show you what that trust agreement looks like and what's all involved here in the next few slides as well. So I mentioned TEFRA guidelines and non-TEFRA. So under 20 employees is considered non-TEFRA. So that encompasses both full part-time employees. That's sort of the sweet spot because there are no guidelines that they have to adhere to. So basically, non-TEFRA is an area where Seniors Choice really can come in and be impactful. The TEFRA are the guidelines that are more restrictive, and that's 20 and over, both part-time, 20 and over employees that include part-time. But if they're part-time and not eligible for group benefits, they can actually qualify for Seniors Choice. And then, of course, if they're fully retired, they can qualify for Seniors Choice. So the sweet spot with Seniors Choice is that smaller group, the non-TEFRA. And so what would be the reason that wouldn't be so impactful? Well, typically a business owner is probably the oldest one in that company. So if they're 65 or older, they're on Medicare, they're on their group plan, and they're driving those rates up. So if they pulled themselves off, put them on a Seniors Choice plan, that's going to drive that group rate down. And now they've got a really nice Medicare supplement plan. And it just favors the overall group rate as a whole. And it's quite a savings. So this is where it makes a big impact on that smaller employer group. The other thing that it is a very versatile plan, and if you look at some of the features here, it's guaranteed acceptance, always, no underwriting ever. So unlike traditional Medicare supplement plans, the underwriting is only during your initial enrollment period or during your trial, right? That underwriting goes away. But with Seniors Choice, it doesn't matter if you're 75, you're 80, you've been an employee and you haven't worked for a company and they put this Seniors Choice plan into place, you then that former employee, that legacy employee, can get on this plan and not have to go through any underwriting. Just like MedSup, there's no network, so it's nationwide coverage as long as the doctor accepts Medicare. Again, you have to have the Medicare Part A and B, no referrals, again, first aid coverage of even pre-existing conditions. Spouses are also welcome to join this plan. And it covers, as you would imagine, the lifetime, no excess. This is going to be hard to really see, and I'll be happy to send the slides out to everybody afterwards. But if you look, there's 3 different plans that this Senior's Choice has. First is the Preferred Choice Plus, looks and acts just like a Plan F. So it's in this first column here, all the way down. The Basic Choice looks and acts just like a G, and then the Preferred Choice looks and acts just like a Plan F high deductible. So that's the 3 different plans that a member can choose from. So the employer can come in and say, I want my employees or my retirees to have any one of these 3 plans, and every one of the employees can choose a different one, or they can say, I just want everybody to have one plan. You can kind of customize it to that group. And the way it's rated is by zip code of that employer. So it's always going to be one rating, and it's always going to be the rate of where that employer is domiciled. So there's 3 different, there's 5 different rating areas, and then you can see it listed by state. It's not available in all states, but then moving across, you can see the area rating and the zip codes. So you would just find your zip code, find your area, and then be able to quote it out. Well, let me go back here because I do want to point on this. So there are no, they don't take smoker, they don't rate it by male, female, or smoker, non-smoker. It's just simply by that zip code. So that's another thing to keep in mind as you're talking to your potential groups. So of course I took the least expensive just to give you a feel. The range for an area factor 1 at age 65 is going to go anywhere from the high deductible Plan F at $62 to the Plan F at $165. And you're probably thinking, boy, that's a little higher than an individual Plan F. I mean, why would somebody do this? Well, again, you're putting this on a group chassis. You're evening this out. So it is a very affordable on the group end, a very affordable plan. And it is being managed by the TPA. Senior's Choice is Merchants Benefit, and they are the TPA. So they handle all the claims and that sort of thing. So you as the agent are not handling all of that. So you factor in the admin fee of $20 per member per month, and that is your rate. Another thing that richens up this plan is there is an optional prescription drug benefit available. 0 deductible plan is available. They have fixed co-pays. I mentioned earlier, a very robust formulary, no donut hole, the ability to switch that plan every year during open enrollment. So in October, when you have a group in place, you can make a switch to, let's just say the group chose for every employee to have a Plan F, but now you want everybody to have the choice to have all of the different plans. So you can make that choice in October for the January 1 effective. The same thing goes with the drug portion. There's 2 drugs available, 2 drug plans. You have to choose only one when you're signing the trust agreement. And then after you make that decision, maybe during the year, you realize we should have made a different decision, or this might be a good time to go with a richer drug plan, then you can make that choice in October for that January 1. And then anybody who wants to have that drug plan can also have it. The other thing that's really nice about this is and we've seen this, is you can just choose the drug plan and sign a trust agreement for just the drug plan to get started. And maybe you'll put it on the medical portion later. And sometimes you see this with ones that are trying to solve for a prescription drug issue. So somebody with a diagnosis or condition, and the individual Medicare formularies just aren't satisfying their needs. So if they have the ability to get a senior's choice plan and add in a drug plan, then sometimes this might be their solution. And I often use this as an example when I'm talking about this, because it was such an impactful one. As I was speaking with an agent who had was just exhausted trying to help one of his clients, and I was chatting with him, and we were trying to go over what possible solutions this client may have to help his wife, who had a very expensive cancer drug, which wasn't on any of the Medicare formularies. And he just happened to mention that this person was a CPA, retired, still dabbled in it. But when he mentioned that, I recalled Senior's Choice does allow, and he kept his CPA license. So he said, let's look at the formulary and see if that drug's in this formulary, which it was. And it was at a tier 2, which ended up saving him and his spouse literally thousands of dollars every month. So kind of keep it in mind. Sometimes it is a niche product, but it is out there. And so just know that you do have a solution. As I mentioned, there are 2 plans for the drugs. Humana is the pharmacy benefit manager. And so the plans are 12602, and then it is $349.55. There is a $15 per member per month admin fee in addition. But you can see with the richer plan, there is no donut hole and no deductible. With the preferred choice plan, there is a $150 deductible on tiers 2, 3, and 4 only. So not the tier 1, which typically are your generic drugs. So the trust agreement is where it all begins. And so what does that look like? Well, it's typically a 2-page document that you would have your client fill out, and just decide the type of business, and maybe either submit along with the completed document, either the copy of the license or a letter that describes that type of business, and make the plan selections. You can see that you would probably want to choose one or all of the plans, or the type of drug plan, if you're going to add the drug plan in there as well. Some of you on this call are probably thinking, I haven't heard of Senior's Choice before, so this is sort of strange. Seems like a really great product, but I haven't. They've been around for over 30 years, and they don't advertise. And because of this, they've been able to keep their costs low. They've had very low to minimal rate increases. And I'll show you some of that, a closer snapshot of what that looks like. The commission levels the commissions are level for life, and we can have a one-on-one about those commission rates, but think of it as group rates. Street's going to start you at 8%. So just kind of keep that in mind. But a closer look at that rate history, just the composite, the over 10 years, 1.8%, and then the renewal rate increases, a composite over the 10 years is 3.3%. So when you compare it to your med sub carriers out there, this is just, pretty impressive, and a reason why you'd want to take a closer look at Senior's Choice, just for that just to know the stability of the rates. And so why choose a group retiree medical product? Well, I gave you a lot of examples of who would be eligible. And so there are quite a few, probably more than you even think you probably go to the chiropractor, and that would be considered, or a veterinary clinic, or so many small business owners that, again, maybe 65, maybe paying a higher premium for something, maybe have a condition and want to solve for a richer formulary, maybe want a med sup and lost that window for a guarantee issue. So there's so many reasons, but the stability of Senior's Choice would be one of the reasons that I would focus on going with this plan. The no networks, obviously, choosing any doctor, hospital, or specialist, and then the tax benefits. Everybody wants that. The other thing is Senior's Choice can bump up with cafeteria plans. You can use pension dollars to pay the premiums. It always does include the spouses. Again, no underwriting for anyone ever. So that's always, that's key. And the minimum life of that group can go down to that one life. So the premiums, if somebody were, even the business owner, were to retire out of the area where they sign that trust agreement, maybe they own that business here in Michigan and then retire down in Florida, they're always going to pay that Michigan rate. Where the trust agreement is signed is where the rates will always remain. So that's another really key factor. Is there a need for this product? Well, I would argue yes, there is. With all of the municipalities, employers facing bankruptcy due to those rising costs, Senior's Choice comes in, and I'm happy to run any kind of quote if you have relationships that you would like to maybe take a closer look at, and just see how would that bump up with their current plan. The rise in healthcare, and again, we're always talking about drug prices and just the formularies. Those who have clients with medical conditions and diagnoses and have struggles with those formularies, both in cost and as well as just are those drugs even covered in those individual Medicare formularies? Sometimes that's an issue. So keep Senior's Choice in mind. I feel like this is an impactful thing, not only to grow your business, keep it in mind, because once you help somebody like that one agent I spoke about, he's been getting referrals now since then. And we all know that referrals, that's the quickest way to grow your book. So keep it in mind as you're out there talking to clients. There are solutions. This is a great one. So I appreciate you taking time today and listening in. If you have any questions, you want to give me a call, my contact information is on this screen. And I am happy to run you a quote, answer any questions. If you'd like these slides afterwards, send me a quick email. I will reach out to each of you after this webinar, probably on Monday, give you a call, find out if you had any questions, and we can talk further. But you can reach me at this office number, or the toll-free number. My extension is 108. Let me take a look and see if there's any questions in the chat feature. If you don't, this is a good time to go ahead and write those in there. So I'm not seeing any. I'm going to type something just to make sure, you guys. If somebody can go ahead and answer that, it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure. All right. What if an individual does not have a license but is in business? So typically, if you're a C Corp, S Corp, something, you would have some kind of document that would provide that. If they have any kind of document that they can send along with that, that works. Does that answer your question? Because that's key. They're going to want. I believe DBA will work as well, because they will have to have a document as that. Anybody else? Premiums are stable. As I mentioned, and I will, let me move this out of the way. I want to go back a few slides. As I mentioned, this is over the past 10 years. The rates have been stable. You can see renewal rates in some years didn't even take an increase. They've been minimal. The new business rates, some years nothing. So yes, they have been. And all the data I have here is just from 2019. Can a person have this with a regular PDP? Yes, they can. So you do not have to add the egg whip, or you can. When you sign the trust agreement, I would always select that you want to put the drug on, but you don't have to actually choose a plan, just on the major trust agreement. And the reason I recommend that is because let's say you get a new person that is retiring and they have a condition that might need that richer formulary. As they're aging into that plan, they can then select it right then and there. If it's not on the trust agreement, you have to wait till open enrollment and then add that in for January 1 effective. So that person would have to wait whatever that period would be before they could get that richer drug plan. But no, you can get a standalone PDP. A lot of folks do it. And so I will tell you also that formulary, and I can send you, I can actually send you the formulary. It's very rich, and some of the diabetic drugs are like in a tier 1 and even 2. So it's pretty impressive. And I'm happy to send you that formulary if you'd like to see it. Again, like I said, some are signing a trust agreement, clicking the medical and the prescription drug, not putting the medical into play yet, but using the drug one and just, having that. So you can do that. So I will follow up with the formulary. You all can take a look at that. Good questions. Anybody else? Okay. Well, thank you all so much again. And this is recorded. So it will take about 48 hours, couple of days to get uploaded into our YouTube video library. You'll get notification if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If not, I recommend it, but you will get notification. And I look forward to speaking with you. You all have a great Friday and a really nice weekend.